back again in the old workshop. So, just finished round 3. Well, say finished, I didn't. Did 2 laps, and then power steering went out on this. I'll put a video in of it. In fact, you know what? Well, if I can find the keys for it, I'll put it on. Yeah. She's not sounding very positive on the old power steering. This is a hard one, and you know. Oh wow. 2 seconds. Turn that on. Plug that in. She's alive. Except she no want to steer it. So yeah, doesn't want to steer. And as you can imagine, pushing that thing round, what you may see on the video was world's bumpiest track ever. Honestly, I do love everything that the Dragon organisers do for us, but my God, that was a shite track. Wow. It was so rough, single line everywhere, you couldn't pass, and the dust was absolutely criminal. If you managed to get close enough through the dust, you then nearly ended up in probably either a ditch or on a jump that you didn't fancy jumping. Oh, I only did 2 laps and my power steering went out, and I ended up with an oil leak as well. But I'm happy. I'm happy I did, because I didn't fancy finishing that race. That was shocking. I think it's coming out of that J-Parts oil pressure sensor there. So, needs a coat of looking at. And then she needs tightening up again, because it's first ride out, it needs bedding in. But, you can mean, look at that. It was brand new. It's been scraped to shit already. Yeah, so, either way, you're actually on the video. I've been told, I'm not sure how true it is, I'm probably one of the only 4x4s to manage to clear the tabletop jump on the motocross section. And that thing did it on nearly half throttle. It is ridiculously quick. I don't think I pushed it much more than half throttle the whole way around that track. 1, because it was so bumpy, and 2, because that thing's like shit off a shiny shovel. It is ridiculously quick. It makes this look like, or feel like an 850. Never ridden an 850, but that feels like 1,000. This feels nothing like one. Oh, that feels like it's like 1,200 or something. Either way, I would have preferred to ride this bike around there though, because that was too much power to take around that track. So power isn't everything. I would definitely say that. Power is not everything. This one, still bent from DQ7. As you can see, steering stem's having a nap. Had a nice little layover, nice little banana. Yeah, so that's on the list. It's from first this week. I need to get the power steering out of it and swap it over, send it off to be tested, and see if it can be repaired or what needs doing with it. And then this one next week. I'm hoping by the end of 2 weeks, should have them both back up and running. I've got spare stems for this one here, whether I want to go down the Texera route or the J-Parts route. So yeah, where we're at the moment with it. Got this to go off and get filled with nitrogen, because they ran out and I lost rebound on them. That's why I've had to put the peps on there from this bike to get that up for the weekend. So at the moment, I'm in very much a state of robbing Peter to pay Paul, as the saying goes over here, or borrowing off one bike to put onto another to make one work out of 2. So yeah, I have shocks coming for that. I've made a very good deal which involves someone getting some nice shocks and me getting some standard shocks put on that. So it helps someone out who's racing, and I get to not sell standard, well, I get to not sell fancy shocks on that to somebody who won't appreciate them. So yeah, I'm going to strip the plastics off this. I've just done that one. Reduces the bulk. I can put them in the container out the way, and then I can get to working. I think I'm going to fix them both, then wash them both. I know it seems counterintuitive to work on dirty bikes, but they're both semi-immobile, so might as well fix the issue then wash them. So this is just a continuation. Finished the stem. I've swapped the stem actually. I've gone from my Texera Tech 1 to the J Parts one because that's probably, I think, +3. I think this combo works out to +2. I thought that was just a touch higher last time. So I've done that. The bars are about straight, but I had this issue even with that stem, even with the other power steering unit. So if the bars are about straight, that both track rods are fully tight. So why is that one pretty much straight and that one pretty much out? Before somebody says you've got it aligned wrong, you can't align them wrong because they've got splines that go in certain holes. So certain splines only go in certain holes, so it'll only go one way around. Like, I can't clock that stem that way or that way more to compensate. Same with the power steering unit, it will only go into the pitman one way. So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. It's obviously an alignment issue of some sort, but I can't figure it out because this is a completely different power steering unit. Let's check out, it's the furthest one. And it will only go into the J Parts pitman one way, one orientation. I've tried clocking it about 4 or 5 splines to the right, you know, to make it look like it's steering right. So when I turn the bars left, it'll straighten that up and kick that back out a bit. But I can't, it won't go in. So, bar swapping back to a normal pitman, which I don't really want to do because it came with a J Parts pitman, so I might as well use it. I've got to run that slightly extended and that pretty much fully extended to get it to go straight. Which doesn't seem right, but that's what I did at the last race. I know I only lasted 2 laps, but it still works. Yeah, it's really baffling me, is this one. All the tyre rods are aligned the same way. For example, head's going down at this end and up at that end, and down at that end again. So yeah. I also had a oil leak which was coming from the sensor. So I've taken it out, tightened the sensor into the adapter fitting, and then glued the fitting in. It's like extreme threadlocked it in. So that should clear up that, because I did have a touch of an oil leak. And I also have dust collecting around there, so I feel like I might have a touch of a weep on the head somewhere, but I'm going to clean that up and then dry it off and check it at the next round, because it sprints next round, so it's 1 lap at a time. So I'll check it each time. Next job is repair my lift, because the wheel's gone. The egg bearing just exploded on it. And then after that, strip this one down. I have the shocks for this now. There's in a box over there. So I can get some shocks on this, and this is another step closer to going. And I also want to put my intakes on this, just to test run it around the garden, to check that I've even got the right concept. There are the shocks in there. I got some TFX to send back out, so good fun. And then crazy little dog. Yeah, I've tried. That was the power steering that's come out, so I'll be sending that away to check for faults to a power steering repair people. And yeah, we're about where we're at. She just keeps stealing everything, including tools. So I will get fuel tank back in this airbox, normal airbox back on this, because I want to wash it. Once I've washed it, swap to my intakes, put the plastics back on, check everything fits all right and everything like that. I'll only be using standard filters for now, because the filter I've ordered hasn't arrived yet. And when I ordered it, it said it was in stock. Well, then it's been a month and a half lead time because it was in stock at the manufacturer, and it takes time to get to the people I've bought it from before they can send it to me. Such a backwards farce of a job, but still waiting. And it's Friday afternoon at the moment, so I want to get this done, make a real dent into that. Before I do that, I'll probably do this and put the shocks on that, so then they're out of the way. Yeah, so busy. And I've also got a few other bits. I want to redo the start button and the small power cable going to the not PLC. That's what I do for work. Do to the ECU. Going to the ECU. So I'll get cracking on with that. I mean, this is nearly done. I had the aim of having this done by the end of this week, that by the end of next week, and then 2 weeks spare before the next round. But if I can get the majority of it all boxed off this week, then gives me more chance to optimise and just fettle with a few things. Back in for another glorious Sunday in the garage. Done, started this one. I've again started this and didn't film any of it because I'm useless again. Airbox off. I've prepped to take the fuel tank out in case I need to. I don't think I'll need to. Just about to take the stem bolt out down there. As you can see, it's pretty bananaed, but fair play. J-part stem product, stem reinforcement, I don't know what he calls it, goes, where's my finger, there, look where it's bent from, after that. So that has kept that whole portion there straight, meaning it's not going to have stressed the EPS out at all. So it's bent from there up. I mean, that's enough for me. I mean, I will go and buy one of them to put on every one of my bikes. I will get this stem straightened back out because I'm sure it'll be fine if I straighten it back out. But, again, it's just made sure that I could finish the race. So, strong stem, and that stem brace, I mean, I must have done a good tumble because that's broken. I don't know if you can see it. So this full aluminium support at the top here. Not sure if I broke it the other side. No, just the one side I think. Needs to get replaced. But yeah, if you look at that, all the banana from the stem brace up. Makes a very good testimonial for that product. I will be putting one of them on and I won't be running without one now. So yeah, I'll whip this off. Got them two stems down there. My only issue is, so if you look, let's get them out. I know that's like torture dragging it along there. However, right, so about the same length. So that's probably about an inch higher. About an inch, yeah. So that's probably +3, that's +2. So my only issue is where this ring sits. So this one's not been modified by me. That sits too high up and catches on the J-part stem brace. Whereas I have them, the rings lowered. I just get them lowered by a roughly like 25mm, for example, or whatever. It's too low, but at the end of the day, it stops it catches on the stem brace, but it also stops it coming off the power steering. So that's power steering shaft splines. So I'll try this one on because I prefer this height. But if not, I'll have to put this one on before I get the other one straightened back out. So that's where we're at for now. I'll show you back when I've got this stem off. Back together now. I'm aware this video is going to be probably about 20 odd minutes. But yeah, back together. I ended up using the original stem that was fine. Not the original, sorry. The shorter one. It cleared it. I've obviously got a bit of play to tighten up in my pitman arm. Wherever, I mean, they're wiggling a bit, but I'll tighten my pitman arm just to be safe. Greased, installed the bushings. Yeah, everything. I just need to put my fuel tank back in. I didn't actually need to remove it, so, but sometimes I prefer just to prepare and get ready to go. So yeah, outside for a wash, oil change, things like that. Probably end up washing them in the week because it is pissing it down now, and I really don't feel like doing that. So I'll probably get myself off to the gym now, and then wash this in the week, plastics back on, hoping everything will be done by the end of next week. Prepped everything, like ready to go, both bikes, completely prepped and ready to go. I do have some tyres I need to change as well because they're getting a bit rounded on the edges. Still plenty of tread left, but well rounded on the edges, so they can go for a set to go on that to sell. I do have the shocks for this. I probably already filmed it, but fitted and installed now. Yeah, really just getting closer and closer. Just want to get this mud off this bike and on that bike as well. Both get ready to go then. Well, not close, I've still got to replace this, but I'll get that done now. Right, so I've left this well too long. This is meant to be post round 3, which I did 2 laps of and didn't finish. And it's going to end up being pre round 4 and 5. So round 4 and 5 is a double header. So on the Saturday we do sprint races. I think it's 6. So 3 1-lap sprints in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. And then you combine your times up. I think it's your 5 best times. I think you get to drop one. Your 5 best times. And that ranks you in finishing order. So that's a Saturday. So it's 6 laps on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday is a standard 2.5 hour enduro. So I've got, this is the purple bike, washed. Just finishing up, bit of maintenance on it. Getting it back to go racing. I think I'm going to run this on the Sunday. Got Peps back on here, because you'll see in a minute, I've got the TFX back on the pink bike, or Polly. So I've got a fair bit to do on this quite actually. Not sure what tyres I'm going to run on this one, but I do have a fresh set of Terracross mounted up, thanks to Tyre Line. They are absolutely fresh as daisy on some lovely DWT rims. So yeah, Peps are ready to set up. That's what I'm sort of referring to this bike as Old Faithful at the moment. It runs, I mean, it did the 7 hour, had a big crash, rolled over, and I came to start it this week to wash it. It's not been touched since. I hadn't even washed it. It had just sat there with the plastics off. And it started up straight away. When I connected the battery, it was, didn't even have to jump start it, nothing. Just straight up, straight away. That's a perfect, exactly what I want. So a bit of maintenance, bit of grease, tighten a few nuts and bolts. I mean, after 7 hours, it's going to come loose. The only issue I've really found, I need to realign my tracking. Because I think I've knocked it out slightly. But may not have, I may have, I'm not too sure. We'll have a look. And only issue I found, this engine mount. So this will get compiled into a massive other video of all the other shit, so it'll be a bit jumpy. But this is where we're at. I'll go show you Polly in a second. And then this can be that video done, and I've got something else interesting before we go to round 4 and 5. So yeah, this is where purple bike's up to. So as I just mentioned, here's Polly. She's in the middle of getting back ready. But most important, she's back on some TFX. Got to do a bit of a basic setup on this. But this is what I will be running Polly for the sprint races. Because it's not often you get an opportunity to do 6 laps with 10 to 15 minutes in between each lap. So it's a prime opportunity to set up my suspension. Do a lap, make a change, do a lap, make a change. And I get my times after each lap as well. So I can tell if I'm quicker, slower, what felt better, what felt worse, whether I'm feeling things better, if they're making me quicker or slower. So that's the main thing. So I just need to ride consistent, hit all the same lines, and then hopefully the times will tell proofs in the pudding in a way. So yeah, I'm really happy to get this one back together. Fixed a few issues on it. Should be back up and racing soon. Hopefully solve that power steering issue and the oil leak. So yeah, see you all round 4 and 5.